Hey guys, this is God of Politics. Welcome back to a brand new video, but before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But in today's video, I'm going to be doing another episode of my redistricting prediction series. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing the state of Connecticut. And as you can see here, the current districts are on my screen right now. There are 5 of them, and they're all blue districts, and they're all represented by Democrats and have been for the entirety of this decade. But there is a chance that this could change, and many of you might just assume that, of course, Democrats control the state. They're going to draw all 5 Democratic districts, and it'll look similar to this. But it's actually not that simple, and I'm going to explain why. So if you go over here to Ballotpedia, it does say here that, of course, the state legislature is primarily responsible for drawing both congressional districts and state legislative districts. Maps must be approved by a 2/3 vote in each chamber. Now, this is the key thing, a 2/3 vote. And while Democrats are close to 2/3, they don't have 2/3, meaning that they won't be able to pass a completely partisan map. Now, it says here if the state legislature is unable to approve those maps, a backup commission is done to draw the congressional and state legislative district maps. And then the commission consists of 9 members, the 4 legislative leaders of each chamber, and the majority and minority leader of each chamber. And then they appoint 2 members each. And then the 9th member is selected by the 8 previously selected commissioners. And as for the districts themselves, it says the Connecticut Constitution requires that all districts, whether congressional or state legislative, be contiguous. In addition, state house districts might not, we don't need to read that part because this is congressional districts, but basically what happened last decade is that Democrats didn't have 2/3 and they didn't get 2/3. It went to the commission, they couldn't figure out a map, and so it went to a court, and a court ended up drawing this map, and more specifically the 5th district over here, this district, which is clearly completely gerrymandered. I mean, it takes the Waterbury over here, it goes over to the blue city of Meriden, it takes New Britain, but it doesn't take the more conservative city of Bristol, it doesn't take any of these Republican areas, whereas the district over here takes these Republican areas, and then the 5th district keeps the blue area. So it's clearly gerrymandered and was done so by a court, which I don't know enough about why they did that, but I really cannot see them doing that again. And so that's why I do think that they're going to draw a different district this time. And so I've mapped out where the incumbents live, and you can see here that they live all over the place, but I'm going to be drawing the map that I think is the most likely for what's going to happen. And so I do think that it's going to look relatively clean because I don't think the legislature is going to be able to agree on a map. But what I do think is going to happen is maybe the commission doesn't agree on a map either and it ends up being drawn by a court. So in that case, it'll probably just be a map that's pretty compact. And so I think what's going to happen is, it's going to include all of these cities over here. So we can include these cities for the 4th district, which is really not going to change very much. If we can just, it's going to include almost all of the county. Obviously, it can't include all of the county because it's larger than a district, but we can include most of these areas here. And it's going to be a blue district. This is a district that's actually trending towards the Democrats as well. The suburbs of New York here, Stanford, Greenwich, Norwalk, Bridgeport, etc. And those are areas that are trending towards the Democratic Party. And so again, these lines are not exactly accurate, and they're not going to be exactly what they do. But this is just giving a picture of what they may do. So it needs about 89,000 more people there. I don't think it's going to cross any county lines here, so it'll just stretch over to this area here, maybe take some of these precincts. Maybe if we decrease the brush size, you can have it take some of these precincts over here. We need about 32,000 more people. I hesitate to say it's going to stretch over here because that may not be, we may not have the ability to do that. Maybe it goes like that, and then I suppose we could take away this precinct. Doesn't look too clean, but it's good enough. Maybe they'll end up splitting up a precinct or something, but it'll look something like that. And as you can see, it's very, very Democratic, over 20 points. And I think Biden would have won it by even more than that. So that's quite an interesting thing to see. As for the next district, it'll probably look quite similar as well. It'll be a pretty compact map in this area over here. And again, it can't really take all of the county in the district because of the fact that the county is larger than the size of a congressional district, but it's going to take a lot of these areas along the coast here, and that is going to make it very blue because it's already got New Haven, which is a very liberal city, and then it's going to take a lot of the surrounding areas, which are quite blue as well. This is one of the bluest counties in the state. You have the two conservative counties in the east and west of the state, but this is one of the more liberal counties. It's got a university town in New Haven. It's got Yale, of course. So it's got a lot of those areas, a lot of those Democratic cities, and I'm hesitating to say it'll take, I don't know if it can take both Meriden and Waterbury. Let's see if population deviations will allow it. So if we have it take these precincts over here, stretch over to this area, how many people are in Waterbury? Waterbury has 108,000 people, so it actually is 40,000 too many people. So I'm not exactly sure what they'll do here. Maybe they'll take actually a couple of these precincts away. So these are red precincts with a lot of people in them. Needs 25,000 more people here. This is a town over here that we may not want to split, but I suppose we could put these precincts here, and I suppose we could take away these areas. These about 1,800 more people, which they'll probably just split up a precinct to do it. But we could have a map that looks something like that. Not as compact as you would like it, but I do think that's probably what they're going to end up doing, something similar to that. I think they're going to take both Waterbury and Meriden out of the 5th district and put it into the 3rd district here. And that's one of the more liberal cities we're going to have, if not the most. And so the next district shouldn't be too hard to do. It's going to be similar to what the current one is, and that is the 2nd district, which is going to take the entirety of a county, unlike those last 2 districts that we did. It's going to take these smaller counties over here, and it should be able to take this, and so it can take those 4 counties, plus it can probably just stretch slightly into this county over here. Needs about 6,000 more people. If we can just add a couple of these precincts, that is good enough. And it's about 10 points Democrat, so that's not a district that's going to flip, but it is more conservative than the past 2 that have been done here. Now, this district, I think, is going to be more of a compact district. Now, it cannot take the entirety of the county again, because this county is much larger, but what we're going to do is I think it's going to be pretty compact, so it's going to take all these liberal areas, and it is going to be a very liberal district. You can see right now it's 35 points, and it's not even taking in New Britain yet, but when we do add that, it does get just as liberal. It's going to take that conservative town over there, I do think, but it needs about 12,000 more people now, so maybe it goes over there, takes that county, or that precinct, I should say, and then maybe that precinct, and that might end up being what they do. I know the population deviations, maybe you'd want it to be a little bit less than this, but you might have it something like that, and then the rest we can just fill in as part of this district, which is going to take in 4 counties. But we can see here overall it's a R plus 2.8 percentage point district here. So you can see overall what we're looking at is probably this district will flip in 2022. I think that if Biden had lost the election, Trump was still president, which therefore implies that you'd probably have a blue wave here in 2022. What would have happened is this district probably would have gone to the Democrats because, it's barely a Republican district in this map here. I don't know what it would have been in 2020, but I assume we'll get that data soon. But you can see here that it takes in the most conservative county and the areas of the state. And so that's going to make the district overall more conservative. Do I think that the incumbent here could win it? Do I think that Jahana Hayes could win it? I do think that she could win it, but in 2022 it could be quite difficult if Republicans put up a decent candidate. Maybe this district isn't drawn this way. Maybe it takes in Waterbury and that makes it much more liberal. Maybe it takes New Britain if Democrats are lucky, but overall I do see this as a potential flip for the Republicans in redistricting. And that's a solid pickup for them if they can make this. But it's going to be a very contentious seat because while it's slightly trending red if you compare it to Obama's numbers, there are certain areas of the district that would be trending towards the Democrats that would make this quite a competitive and quite an interesting district to look at. So overall, this is my prediction for Connecticut redistricting. So thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But again, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.